So, I did a reading for just a New Year's Day reading. Not really a big official one, but I pulled my Oracle of Mystical Moments out, and it was interesting. I'm going to have to spend a little more time with the cards. I just very quickly laid them out. But it gives me some things to think about today. So here are the cards that I ended up with today. The Tarot of Mystical Moments. There is my thing. Let's look at this. So I just did my own spread, and the first one is, oh God, my hands are doing that shake again. That sucks. Okay, let's see if we can get, oh, there we go. So this is today. My home is my castle. And it's interesting. I've often, when I pulled this card, thought about like how I carry my home with me, for one thing, because I do house sitting and travel, but also my desire to have a home and build a home and that is mine. But it's interesting. I looked up the meaning for this. Darn it. I looked up the meaning for this, and it also talks about aging and how you build up these parts of yourself as you age and kind of construct the parts of you that are going to stay. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to read about it again and like just spend some time studying the card. But that's interesting because I am dealing a lot with age and what parts are authentic to me, and I feel like I'm constantly in a remodeling process, so to speak, or a renovation project and a transformation project. I'm really trying to figure out what to let go and who I am and what I want. So interesting. For what's just passing is a card that I got a lot last year called the Observer. It's a card I really love. It's also a lot about, I'm going to have to brace my hand because it is shaking. It's a lot about living in the present and just focusing in on what needs to be focused on, which is definitely something I have worked on, because trying to look at what's going on outside in the bigger picture is just overwhelming. Trying to look back at my past is overwhelming. Trying to look too far ahead, looking at what's around me, but focusing in on details. And I am a really good observer of people's character, and I notice things that are going on that people don't realize I'm noticing. So that is definitely something that has been going on for me. And I'm also feeling like there's a little bit of a message here of don't just be an observer this year like you were last year. I mean, I really felt that, where I wasn't taking part in things. So maybe that means I need to not always be this. The next card is the card of what is the lesson I need to take with me from 2019. And I have not ever drawn this card before. There's a lot of cards that do come up over and over. This one's called the Perfect Key. And it's an interesting card. I mean, the bird's got all these keys that they're offering, but she's got this one key that's the right one, that's like the key to the heart in the cage. And I mean, I did spend a lot of time worrying in 2019 about like how to get what I needed and how to get, I really felt like isolated from love. And I think there's a lot of things to ponder in here. And it's like the thing of like looking for something, but having the answer all along. And that seems really appropriate. So again, I'm going to need to sit with this. I love that blue sky behind her. It always makes sense to me that, yeah, like nobody else can really give you, people do offer you things, but really it's got to come from you. So this is weird or interesting. Interesting, probably more than weird. This was my, like, what's my next step? And it's Touch the Sky, which is a card I have pulled a lot. And it's a card of someone who's up and aloof from things. She's got her little bird friend. and she's dangling her braid down almost like Rapunzel. But she's way up in the clouds and really isolated from the rest of the world. And I often, because of circumstances, I don't reach out. I wait for people to come to me, be like the little bird on my shoulder and say, hey, come on, let's hang out. And I think that this is a feeling, which this has been brewing for a while for me. I think it's a feeling of like, I need to start reaching out a little bit more. I need to dangle my braid out there and see if anybody wants to come up. One really threw me for a loop. Not sure what to make of it. So this is the, what do I have to look forward to? And it's the art of seduction. I mean, she's like whispering in his ear. There's all this romantic stuff. Again, I've got to sit with it. But like the first thing that was like, wait, what? Why is there anything about love in a reading for me? The last, I'd say 5-6 years, as I've really been lonely and wanted to at least date or something, I have become more cynical about romance. A lot of times when people have done me readings, when I've done my own readings, when I've talked about like, is there anyone for me? Is there anything that's going to happen romantically for me? I've gotten a lot of like very cold, bleak, like it's the dark winter of the soul cards. So like it just didn't show any romance whatsoever. And so like to see anything about love is like really weird. The only time I used to see things about love is that my former friend Molly used to always encourage me that everything was about love, because she lived in that fantasy world, and she would say, oh, look, you're going to have the perfect man. He's going to be like this, blah, 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 blah. And it would never happen. But any other readings by sane people would not show anything. It was just like dormancy. And so it's weird for me to have a card like this come up, especially as like a what do I have to look forward to? And I don't know if it actually means romance. I like that the male character, the person in the top hat, looks really androgynous. It could be a man. It could be a woman. It could be an androgynous person, an agender person. I really love that about it, but I just find this interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I'm going to go and do stuff now, or try to do stuff, and probably be overwhelmed and then go back.